So in this video, we're going to go through and set up a GitHub Action self-hosted runner on our AWS account. If you're not familiar, GitHub Actions usually run in a cloud environment. They're containers that spin up and GitHub runs them and manages them for you. But in certain situations where you need that environment to be on your own network or on premise, wherever it might be, you need to host your own self-runner or self-hosted runner so that you have access to your own network. So this is something that it'll look like here. We'll basically have a VPC, and then this is an ECS cluster. We're just going to do on EC2 for now, but ECS is more of the production grade if you want to do it that way. So inside of a private subnet, we're going to have a self-hosted runner, and then that'll be able to reach out to a NAT gateway. So it's like a one-way entrance. So the self-hosted runner can reach out, but nothing can reach in. So that way we can limit the access because we don't have to say that our application has to be open to full internet or trying to find the GitHub IP ranges for cloud. And even then, it's just a public IP range. It's not like it's specific to us. So this way we know it's coming from within our network. We can verify the build before it happens and everything is inside of our own intranet. This type of thing is really important for high compliance or strict environments. So that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. So we're going to go into my repository here. So this is actually where I host my website from. I'm just going to go in here and go to settings and then go down to actions here and runners. And you'll see I don't have any runners right now, although I do have a Git action because it's just running on the public runner. So we're going to do new self-hosted runner. And I will do this on a Linux machine. X80 or X64 looks good. And all of that is ready. So now that we've set this up, we're going to go over to our EC2 dashboard and let's go over to instances. I'm going to launch a new instance here. So inside of our launch instance, we're going to do my GitHub runner, and then I will do Ubuntu. And I'll have timestamps below. So if you know how to spin up your own instance or you already have one available, you can just jump ahead to the actual setup of the runner. And so here we go. We have our Ubuntu instance and it's a 64-bit x86. Let's leave that and then go to T2 micro. That looks good. And then for a key pair, we're going to go ahead and select whatever key pair you have available or create one if you don't. I already have one existing, so I'm going to go with that. And all of this, I'm going to leave SSH traffic open to anywhere. Actually, I'll change it to my IP. So at least do this at a bare minimum. If you're in a production environment, you shouldn't even be doing that. You should have some other way to connect to it. But we'll leave that for now. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and launch this instance. And it looks like it's launched. So you'll see I have one old one here. We're looking at my GitHub runner here. So I'm going to open that up, go into connect, and I will copy this out. If you haven't done this, follow these commands, or at least this one. Make sure you copy down that PEM file and then do chmod 400 to be able to use it. So I will go ahead and SSH into this server. Let's go ahead and do yes here. This will take a second. There we go. And now coming back to our GitHub here, we have a list of commands that we want to run now. So I'm just going to copy these out and then I'll talk about them. So we're going to make a new directory that's actions runner and cd into it. And then we're going to download the executable from the GitHub Action site. So here's the download, and then we extract that installer. Looks like we actually got a bunch of errors there because of the $sign. So let's go back. Let's do each of them individually. It'll take a minute, but it's fine. So we're going to go ahead and copy it, or curl it rather. And then while that goes, you can validate the hash. I'm not going to do that, but in some environments you might have to. And then go ahead and extract the installer. So we'll do that there. And then once that's installed now, at least where it's downloaded, we can configure it. So this config.sh, this is a file that they give us. And then it provides a URL, so it's specific to our repository. And then we have a token that's basically to say that we are the person we say we are. So we'll go ahead and run that, and you'll see this authentication here. And so it's going to ask for the name of our runner group. I don't have one, so I'm just going to go ahead and press default, enter the name of the runner. And I don't want that IP there. I'm going to do my GitHub runner so it matches my EC2 instance. And make sure if you're doing this at scale, you have some kind of a naming convention there, of course. So here's the labels. I don't really care about that in this case. Let's see. Name of the work folder. Let's leave that as it is. And there we go. So now that's set up. And then we'll do /run.sh. Let me double check that. Yep. Now we're connected to GitHub and it's listening for jobs. And now the next thing that we need to do now that that's going is we're going to go into our workflows. I'm going to go to this s3 deployment.yaml and let's open this up. And if you scroll through here, you should see a runs on if you already have these actions set up. If you don't, I'll link a video below for GitHub Actions basics so you can get a full understanding of how these work. But I'm just going to go through the runs on in this. So I have Ubuntu latest. That is saying an Ubuntu image on the GitHub cloud provider, basically, where I say cloud provider, whatever server they're going to offer us. But we are going to change this to be self-hosted. And then let's go ahead and commit that change. So now we have our runner that is listening for jobs, just double checking that. Let's go ahead and kick off our S3 bucket workflow. And we will see the workflow has triggered. Now our build and deploy job has been kicked off. If we look here, you'll see it immediately picked up running job, build and deploy. So let's go back over here and just track this, build and deploy. It's installing dependencies. So npm's on this server and it's going to install them. That's done. Now we're going to do npm run build there. And this will take a second. And then once that's done, it should copy to S3. Okay, so AWS not found. Interesting. Okay, so AWS CLI is installed now. Let's do -- version just to make sure. There we go. So CLI is there. So let's go ahead and do our run again. Run.sh. So now we're going to be listening for jobs here. Let's go back and kick this off one more time. So let's rerun failed jobs. Go ahead and kick that off. And again, we're going to go through. So you'll have to do this once as you're figuring out what dependencies you need because now you're owning this. Whereas I had it in the installer before, but it didn't have access. So now we installed dependencies. We build the npm run build here. And then once that's complete, hopefully we deploy to S3. There we go. Deployed to S3, invalidate CloudFront, and we are done. So there is our job completed. Let's come back here. Job build and deploy completed with result succeeded. So that is how you can set up a GitHub Actions on a self-hosted runner. Like I said before, if you're interested in learning more about GitHub and CI/CD pipelines and GitHub Actions in general, I'll link the video here so you can go check that out. Otherwise, thanks for watching and be sure to subscribe.